It's amazing to see so many interested in this emba X Alumni panel. Thank you also for everybody who registered and already put the questions in the form. So we will do our best to then really go through all of them throughout the session. Otherwise, there will be a Q&A also in the end. And then for all of you to know, you have seen this session will be recorded and then shared with you afterwards. So you can have a look again on what was discussed today. To start with, my name is Tayuna. I do recruitment and admissions for the EMBA-X program. I will be your host and moderator today. And I'm very, very happy to be joined by three amazing alumni from the EMBA-X program who I've heard so many great things of. And I'm also very excited to hear your stories. And they will be sharing their insights today. Before we do the introductions, I will go very quickly through the program, the most important points for you to see, and then we will jump right into this discussion as well. So for everybody who's joining that does not have a very good overview on the program yet, so the MBAX program is an executive MBA degree jointly delivered by ETH Zurich and the University of St. Gallen. So really a double degree from both universities with a focus on technology and leadership. You can also see here the topics that are covered in the program. So business innovation as well, as said, leadership and technology, but then also really sustainability and social impact that plays a very big role as well. So the mission of this program really is to develop socially responsible leaders who want to integrate technology and leadership to have a positive impact on society, but also on your teams and your organizations as well. The format of this program is blended. So you see here there is online days and there are on campus weeks too. So within the duration of the program, which is 18 months, you have approximately 12 days that happen online and then 11 weeks that happen on campus, either at ETH Zurich or the University of St. Gallen. The next program start, you can see here, is February of 2026. So that's the start of our next cohort, and the application deadline is 31st of October of 2025. So if you are interested in joining the next cohort, you have some time until end of October. We would be very happy to, of course, see applications. And if you have any other questions on the program itself, I would be very happy to speak to you. As I said, this is an alumni discussion today, but I'm super happy to answer any questions on the program itself. So EMBA-X is a very transformative journey that is really best explained through the very real experiences and real journeys of our students and alumni. So I would be very happy to then now give over to our three alumni that joined us today. So yeah, Gael, you're first on the slide. May I ask you to start and introduce yourself, please?
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Gael. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Affairs, which is a spin-off of ETH Zurich, but it's a startup, 2 years old startups that works in the field of materials for cooling of AI and data centers. I did the EMBA-X, so I was second cohort, so I started in 2020, let me think, three and did it 24. And yeah, it was a very enjoyable experience. I look forward to your questions.
Amazing. Fanny, you're next.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Fanny Gianu, and I am co-founder and CEO of a biotech startup called Alithia Bio. We are based in Germany, Berlin, and also in France, Strasbourg, bilocalized. And I am alumna of X3. We have had our last 2 weeks in July, I think, and we have the final session, the graduation in October. So yes, not completely yet alumna, but soon to be. Very happy to talk to you today.
Francesco?
Good. The takeover, Francesco Mandrile. I was also in a X3 cohort together with Fanny and another good amount of wonderful people, which is one of essential element in the whole journey that you're about to take. I am working in the railway business for Alstom as a vice president for component. So to explain that for the train drivers or train builders, I am basically working with about 2,000 people to build components that we are integrating in our trains all over the world. So that is what makes me happy and busy every day, and it is where I brought a lot of knowledge, new ideas, and where I relearned a lot of things out of the program that I went through in the last 18 months. So, and as funny, also looking forward to our graduation, and looking forward to your questions today.
Perfect. Well, thank you everybody for these introductions. So maybe taking one step back, and what many of the participants of today might be asking themselves is really, what made you choose this program specifically? So what was it that you were looking for that EMBA-X was offering you? Maybe Francesco, we can start with you.
Well, for me, it was kind of an easy one, because I've been spending most of my professional life in the engineering field, moving into management and then general management. And the program was really captivating my attention because of that combination. So it's not a classic business school. It's not only offering you a business view on the world. It's really linking important aspects on technology, which is something which is everything but static. So if you are like me, 15, 20 years in the business, it has been changing at least 20 times. And it's good to know and to learn what is upcoming, what are the next trends, what you should be prepared of, especially in a perspective of having also to deal with people, with sustainable management, responsible management in general, and that was really captivating my attention, and I could say also has been delivered to the highest expectation in the program.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Fanny, maybe you can continue. What was it for you?
Yes, so of course you do your research, compare, look into programs, and what is special about this program. And for me, for sure, the main reason why I chose it was, so my background is more business background, and jumping into entrepreneurship and building my own company. I felt that what I could use in daily life is a more technological background, and I really liked of course the HSG being known as a fantastic business school, and with very deep and models and theory, let's say, but also with a lot of applied into startups or into industries. And so this was already convincing enough, but for me the reason was indeed the combination with the ATH technological approach. We had software but also hardware, and AI modules and so on, which added a lot to me for the global knowledge of what's going on, like future trends, but also how to be a leader, and taking into consideration business side, financial side, but also the technological side. And the combination was for me making this program so special.
Wonderful. Thank you, Fanny. Gael?
Yeah, so for me that was really the uniqueness of the program. So when I applied and when I decided to apply, I really looked into an EMBA that was not classically business or classically, I would say, financials or all those aspects. I didn't want an EMBA on pure leadership aspects. I wanted something that would help me have more impact. So a lot of my cohort actually was like that. We were really in different stages of our careers, but all very, very oriented toward social impact and sustainability. And it is actually very rare to find an EMBA that has the solid ground of leadership, the solid ground of business aspects, of financials, but also looks a bit more future oriented so that it combines the aspects of leadership, of social responsibility, of sustainability. And that was really key for me. And it also meant that I met people with similar mindsets whom I made very, very strong links with. So that really cinched it for me. I have a very, very technical background, PhD, 20 years in R&D and tech transfer. And so for me, it was rounding up my profile, helping me go towards the next stage, but also helping me bring important impact or as important impact as I can during the rest of my career.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, all of you. I think you mentioned a very important point, also the cohort that you're in, right? So I think yeah, it's you are 18 months with your cohort. You have then an amazing network, amazing people that you really do this journey with. And also, you know, we put a lot of emphasis on the diversity of the profiles that you will have in the cohort, right? So you will be with various different people from different backgrounds, just like you three today as well, that go on this journey together. And I think that's yeah, super important and super interesting. I think you mentioned something very interesting as well. It's really the impact, right? So also let's maybe move on to the next question. So you have different backgrounds, right? So how did this program really change your career, impacted your career, or yeah, then also, you know, the perspective that you then went on forward. Yeah, who would like to go first?
Maybe I can share a point of view. I mean, that was and is the most enriching part of the program. Probably by looking now whether or not to enroll, you're looking a lot on what is on the menu, let's say. What is not on the menu, not written, is what is happening in the kitchen. And it is this combination of very diverse people in all dimensions, culturally, gender diversity, business type diversity. And it's a unique place where you're meeting people that are having a common focus, but that comes and goes sometimes in very different directions than you might have. And this is brought into a system together with all the courses where you're working on yourself with your cohort, with your team, that is really driving your personal change to a level that is, at least for me, being really unexpected. It is something that we all shared in our cohort. You feel it happens, and it stays, it sticks with you. And that's yeah, mostly coming from that selection process and the opportunity of being in a cohort which is really offering much more than just the program itself.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Francesco. Anybody else would like to add something to that?
I mean, I think that sums it up very nicely. I would say that, I mean, for me, it was a very, very pivotal point. So I had a lot of things happening at the same time, founding the startup, changing jobs, obviously, then founding the startups, joining the University Innovation Council, which is a funding agency, and also the EMBA, and actually the ability to do all those things at the same time was very fascinating because I could bring in so many insights from the program, but also from the cohort. So you're in the program, I was able to confront point of views with people with so much experience in fields that I didn't have any. Where, for example, people who've done marketing, people who were CFOs their whole life, people who were purely business strategy, that type of things. And you're mixed a lot in different groups, and you have a lot of group work, and that brings a lot of different insights. And also, I thought that the program was very applicable to daily business. So you're thinking about your daily business when you're doing the different exercises, the different group thinking, the different things like that. So you have this back and forth all the time between looking at the big picture, looking at an integrity, and going back and forth and having that capacity to implement change.
What I maybe could add, because the question is, of course, or when you start looking at programs, you are looking for the next step in your career, for promotion or changing the business you are into, the company, right? And that's also, of course, important and a driver for taking decisions. What I think it shouldn't be put on the background is the growth and the experience you gather throughout this program, which might not be visible. Of course, we have people getting fantastic position, vice presidents and CEOs and whatsoever. So that's something you can see is visible on the CV, and that's for sure something important. At the same time, I would say as important as that is the development and the growth you have as an individual, which might not be apparent on the CV, but for me also from a private environment, or also my colleagues or others saw really a big difference how you consider, you take decisions, you look around what's happening, analyze, and so on. So that's something, not apparent on the CV, but which makes, I don't know, sparks with colors or whatsoever differently than before. And it's much more than only the next career path, that it's the next level of personal, not only professional growth. And that's also, you mentioned, I don't know if you have a question again on that, about the cohort, and that's of course the theory, the fantastic professors, but your cohort, people you meet in very extreme situation, like the crisis management, for instance, or also like working on casual projects where they really reflect and bring you with feedback, with support, and so on to the next level. And that's as important as the books and the theory.
All right, thank you so much for this perspective. Actually, we did get a question also. You mentioned that, it also, changes your perspective and how you deal with things. We also got a question that somebody put in the registration form. So what part of this journey, the MBAX experience, also transformed your leadership approach? So how you now go about as a leader. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about also in terms of leadership, what changed for you with this program?
That's quite an intense part in the whole program. The thing to me is you probably learn in the program what it indeed is leadership, not in terms of what you can read in a book, but it's a program which is practicing this aspect in every moment on the course. And then it is one of the, let's say, path that is uninterruptingly coming from the beginning to the end. So on the right and on the left side, you find your module, you study, you improve your knowledge base, but basically you work on yourself in understanding, first of all, how you are working in making decisions, and how should be or could this be changed, adapted, modified to be more effective, more proper, more appropriate if you are in a leadership role. And also understanding better the context, what type of leadership. There's so many things, and this is what the cohort is also bringing, perspective. I mean, how would you be a good leader if you are a venture capitalist, or whether you're working in industry, or whether you are running your first startup? And that's where, taking from Fanny, a lot is important, but the least important thing is probably the next job you're getting. The most important thing is that the program is giving you the real tool on how to get that, making this something meaningful for you, not for your LinkedIn profile, which is, I believe, something that is really strongly shared on multiple cohorts. I mean, you will end up learning a lot of interesting people. And what I personally liked on this executive MBA experience is that no one is rushing for the next CEO seat. Everyone is willing to learn what does it mean to be sitting in that position eventually. And this is a complete different approach in understanding also what some people call it career. But I think it's more the perspective of putting yourself as a responsible person, eventually a responsible leader, into the journey, professional and personal, that we all have ahead of us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Francesco. Actually, I think you might have also a very interesting perspective on that. I think you founded your company, was it throughout the program, at the start of the program, actually? So how was it for you in terms of leadership?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many aspects of leadership, and Francesco touched on that a lot. So indeed, I started the program in February. Pretty much at the same time, I was discussing potentially co-founding this startup with my co-founder, and we founded in August. So really, it was those journey in parallels that was very interesting. So you have so many things. You have personal leadership, which I think is very important as well in the program. So how do you want to see yourself as a leader? What do you want to develop as qualities? How do you perceive others, and what can you get from others to develop your personal leadership? Then you have all the group work, understanding when to lead and when not to lead, and what it means to lead in a way. So leadership is a very generic word almost. You could really think about it more into what does it mean to be a leader? You want to empower yourself and empower others to achieve something, and how do you get to that goal? So that, for me, that was really interesting, to be able to bring so many perspectives into my personal and my professional life, to understand how I want to progress, how I want to build a team, how I want to build a company, how you want to build a culture. So you're looking at every single level. You're looking at personal level, you're looking at team level, you're looking at company level, and even at the end, you really look at, culture and strategy. So everything moves smoothly along. How do you go to the next level, and never forgetting that they're all interlinked?
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Fanny, you're also an entrepreneur, right? So what is your perspective on that?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think to add something that my colleagues haven't. I think so. At the very beginning, you have several tests and so on, and you get a mirror with who or what could be the shadows, let's say, in your leadership style or in your how you take decisions or how lead the team you have until now. And that's quite of earthquake, I would say, because it's we don't have a lot of chances in the daily life to see our leadership style through a mirror. And the fantastic thing is that you get this consciousness and awareness of okay, where do I stand? And you get all the tools and the ideas and the skills to go throughout the program to move forward into the leader you actually aspire to be, right? And that's, I think, is very powerful for two things. I am much better prepared to crisis I mentioned already, but also transformation. Transformation is everywhere the whole time. We are all transforming everything. And it gave me security, more security, but more also preparation and attitude, different attitude, how to face changes. And the second one is leadership, defining leadership. So good and bad, it's not about it, right? It's the nuances of it and how it fits with the environment around, what happens around, let's say, the macro vision, but also the interactions with the team, the decision making, and what is, of course, for not only startup, also in my corporate world, I would say skills or really this mindset of not only solving, taking decisions, but really considering a lot of facets and a lot of parameters happening around. So leadership, I would say, is it's maybe not that conscious how you develop and you evolve throughout the program, but I would say has it's a huge domino effect which you have from day one to the end.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for all of your insights. Moving on to a little bit of a different question that we get asked a lot and was also asked now in the registration forms is really about the balance. So of course you're balancing a lot of things at the same time, work and your life and your studies. So yeah, how did you do it? How was it for you? And do you have any tips for people that are now at the start of this journey as well?
Yeah, you learn by doing is my tip, or it's my take. It's gonna be intense. Like, well, let's not, lie about it. It's just gonna be very intense. But at the same time, I found it very energizing to have all those exchange, to have the learning experience. I mean, I love learning in general, but it was amazing to learn with all those people together. And I think that you have to, in a way, you have to really self-organize a lot and be ready for the intense weeks when you're on campus and prepare for them by, I mean, generic things, but, trying to be as healthy as possible in the rest of the time. So exercising, if that helps you, spending time with your family, if that helps you, and so on and so forth. But the 18 months are going to be intense in a very good way. I found them super stimulating, but I have to say I was, pretty exhausted at the end of it. Super proud, but it will take you to the next. The goal is to take you to the next level, and part of the next level is how do you organize with this extra bit of workload, of changes, of personal effort to go through, of homework, and etc. And it does ask you to fully involve yourself in the program, to fully take the time to do it. Yeah, your weekends are going to be done for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, Gail, you're totally right. I mean, and it's totally true. I mean, there's no discount. This is requiring focus. But the best things you can do is really deep diving. I mean, the balancing is indeed fundamentally a part of the training on the learning as well. When you are on the business, you are not asking your boss, how can I do this job with all the other tasks I have in the week? You are finding a way. You learn, you organize, you adapt, you transform. And that is just a few things that you will see, learn, and you will learn also from the others. And the thing, the biggest mistake you could do in this program in not giving full in, all in to the program, because it is a program which is, in my opinion, an experience I can say now, giving you the best if you are giving the intellectual and the emotional part a chance to learn. This is also back to the question on leadership. This is what is bringing the most to you back. And it is learning by being squeezed into difficult situation, being squeezed by a calendar which is not matching, being squeezed by everything else you like to do and you need to compromise, where you are finding the next learning with all what you are given through the courses, which is in the end helping you really to bring into the perspective. And what Gail mentioned as a suggestion is also something that is taken in the course. So you will learn how important it is to sleep, how important it is to do sport. And not just because they are putting you on an incredible pressure, but it is because of understanding that to be a good leader, you need to balance your energy. And this is also an important learning on the whole journey. On the side of doing one or 100 courses, I mean, we can learn something every day. That's not really the point. The point is how we are learning to manage ourselves first, if you want to then extrapolate that to other contexts. And it's certainly you will have no boring time on the journey. That's guaranteed. But it's a wonderful time, I can guarantee you as well.
I would like to maybe add another perspective of the decision is difficult. Of course, it's an investment, financial investment, an important one. But I would say the time investment is maybe even more important. Because we are all experienced executives, work a lot. I'm sure if we are all here, we know how it is balance. What is balance, and it's very important to be aware. So you ask the new year about how to prepare. I would say so. In my case, I also moved from corporate to startup. I have 3 kids. I have as all of us, also other roles and hats in life. It's super important that you prepare, let's say, people around you that you might have to work on the weekend. The assignment deadline is on Sunday evening. It was, but let's say on Saturday evening, and you are focused there. You have to do it. So it's something which comes on top, because life happens in between, right? And it doesn't stop, and you have still teams to lead and so on. So I think that's important that you are aware. But to go back to this investment of time, I would say it's you get rewarded. I don't know what the model, the formula would be for sure for the time you invest, not only for the assignments, but also and most important, talking to the others, spending time with the cohort, because it's indeed transformative to all the levels. So the professors do a fantastic work at the beginning, telling you and emphasizing balance, as Francesca also mentioned. And I would like to maybe compare it to like strength training, where you also dedicate this time in the gym or whatsoever to push your body and mind, and not to be disturbed from kids or calls or whatsoever. And it's in her, so I don't know, 1 hour which goes somewhere else, but you know that you go stronger and you go beyond your limits and so on. So it's the return on time investment is huge, and it's worth it. So I don't have sleep tips or things like that. They do a fantastic work there. But just the awareness that your support system has to follow, let's say, the decision, or it would be better, easier for you to have your support system behind.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. So we actually already got a question in the chat that I would like to touch upon. So Mari asked, what changed also for you career-wise since you finished the program? So jumping back a little bit to the start when we started this session. So you've all graduated. Well, you have your graduation soon, Fanny and Francesco, but you have finished the program. So from a career perspective, what kind of impact did the program have on you?
Well, citing Fanny, life is happening. So I got a promotion in my business this year in April. So I was still in between the courses. Promotion that was moving me from a local role. I was site managing director in Switzerland, and now I responsible of 5 sites all over Europe between Switzerland and Sweden. This is just to understand that change completely your week. So I couldn't plan that. Still the school is running. Still you have assignments. Still you have commitment with your colleagues. And so back a little bit on the question before, in terms of changes, what is to me more important that what is happening is that I believe this, and this is because people in my company, my mentors, my boss, my colleagues, they saw the changes. I could get to a next level because of what we went through in the school, and then I still not stop learning, but it is really something to me. I mean, I'm just an example, so I'm not the rule, but certainly it is true that you're getting enough element to drive your own choices. So this for me was not something happening by chance. I was looking for this change, and that's happened because I was also able to give more context and content to what I could do, thanks also to the program. And this is just an experience. And for many of us, I mean, observing, let's say, across the court, a lot has happened. But also sometimes, and this I tell just because of bringing this into perspective, I think it's personally, it's wrong to believe that whatever you do in a course, in an MBA, whatever you can choose to do, that is life-changing. What I can tell is that this emba X is giving you a lot to replenish your backpack with new things and new perspective. Everything else is belonging to your life. It's your decision what to do or not to do. And this is what is also what you learn. You learn whether your decision is to go or not to go. It's not just about going to the next level, but whether that is making sense for you and for what you do.
Yeah, I can concur that the cohort in general, I mean, in X2 as well, a lot of people career has changed. So for me, I had already started my career change as I was starting the EMBA. So that's slightly different, but I think you engage in that kind of program because you want to change. Will this change be what you're thinking right now? I'm going to say probably not, based on the experience. Will the change be a good thing? Probably yes. That's also based on the experience I have in the cohort. But I think in the cohort, 70 to 80%, maybe almost 90% had career change, whether in their current companies or in new companies or founding a company, but all of it happened at one stage. And we're 1 year away from graduation, so it's not even that long. If you look into 5 years from now, I think you'll see even more change. But the change is, I would say, there's a bit of, you can plan stuff, you can see what was Francesco, what makes sense for you, but you also will see that the flow might make you reconsider a lot of things. So we had people living corporate for leading SMEs. We had people doing other type of journeys, but there, in a very short amount of time, was a huge amount of change in the whole cohort.
I would say for X3, at least there, I don't know percentage-wise, but I would say everyone had a career change in the sense of purpose. So checking what the purpose is, what I'm doing until now, is it exactly what I aspire doing, or the contribution I want to bring to society or whatsoever, in which field I'm working. And a lot of change happened also in the impact. So how impactful am I? Is it coherent with my personality, with my background, with what I'm building at the moment? So it's I would say a huge change again, maybe not as visible as another big company name on LinkedIn, but it's a huge change for sure in how the careers are perceived. And so we have people, of course, like Francesco, having great new opportunities within the company. We have people changing industries. We have people changing, going more into sustainability or other impactful fields. So there is a lot of change that is for sure a guarantee. For me personally, it's a huge change, even if it's still my startup. It's the work. So before, I would say I was internally leading a company, and throughout the program has what has changed is the external impact, or how representing the company, internationalization, getting investors on board, and very happy also having an co-founder from the cohort joining the startup as well. So career-wise or business-wise, I would say, a lot of changes and a lot of transformation there. That's for sure.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for wording this also so beautifully. I think a big part of this program, right, is really the relearning and rethinking and changing your perspective. I think you all mentioned that and said it very, very nicely. So, wrapping up, I think you all mentioned very important things that we also always say is really, this perspective change, how you view the world, but then also, of course, this transformation that is very different for everybody that you go through, and the importance of the people around you and the cohort that you are in, and this very diverse cohort. So if you, maybe moving on to the next question. So if you would have to maybe distill everything, what would, be your biggest takeaway from this whole journey of emba-X?
Oh, that's a big one.
Good question, yeah.
Yeah, just one.
Big one.
I mean, for me, the main one is really the powerful connections you're going to make. So we had a very, very cohesive cohort, or cohesive. I mean, it was very diverse. So let's I don't know if it was cohesive, but the bonds that we made are very strong and they're still there. And I've had support for myself, for my career, for my startups since the very beginning and still today. People are ready to, you know, drop by and help me and come by and look at things with bringing another perspective. And it's been very, very powerful in my personal and professional life to have met so many people that are really ready to make you look at the mirror, like Fanny said, but in super kind, compassionate, only wanting the best for you way. So I thought that was very, very interesting to have that aspect. I think the other aspect was more part of my personal journey, which is I think it made me even more strongly involved or more strongly engage into having a positive impact through my work. And that is something that I knew going in that it was a motive, but I know that I redefine and it helped me define what I feel is my purpose. And that gives me energy and grit, which is super necessary when you're an entrepreneur. So.
I could. Oh, sorry, Francesco. Go ahead.
No, please.
I also felt like Francesco. Oh my God, this is a big one. I don't want to distill because it's I don't know, to make it. It's a life experience. So there are 300 ingredients and not 3. But you asked the question, so let's stick to now distilling. 3 things would be: you get comfortable into outside your comfort zone, and that you need no matter where you work. I think that's a huge one. The people, the support system is just I think one of our cohort compared it to when you finalize your master's or bachelor's and so on. So people you get at a very young age who are stick around for your whole life. I think it's the same here. You come very close, and you have very intense discussion connections with a cohort, and that's I would say the not only the cherry on the top, but really the cream on the top. And the third one is as a leader, it's all about people. Yourself as well, of course. You start to become better leader yourself, but I would say what brings out, or if we the distillation would be how you see people around you, how you interact with people, and that's also a big one.
Yeah, so as I'm a Swiss guy, you normally go around with your Swiss knife. So the Swiss knife given by the course to me, so what I distillate out of it is just one mirror and a set of lenses. You learn to accept and look for feedback, and you learn to build yourself a mirror to monitor what you're doing. But you're also getting a set of lenses in terms that from what you learn, the different courses, but from the way you are changing the perspective on everything around you, business-wise, relationship-wise, in terms of cohort relationship, business relationships. It's this is what for me was mostly powerful to learn how much different point of view you can have, and learning how to get there, learning whether it's time for a magnifier lens or whether it's time to have a telescope. And this is probably the richest lesson I learned, tested frequently with my cohort and my colleagues. But that is essentially very linked to then what has happened to me, to give you a personal perspective. I mean, the reason of my change was mostly driven by that, this ability of of learning, to change perspective, and being capable of reading the status or the effect of certain decision with different eyes as well.
Amazing. Well, that's very beautiful. Put a mirror in the set of lenses, Francesco. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for your insights. I do have one last question as we're getting closer to the end. So we have people joining here today that are considering applying or who have had applied. So what advice would you give to somebody that's considering joining or has joined? You know, an advice that maybe you wish you would have had before your start.
I mean, I would say this is the most transformative step you're going to take for yourself. So look into that from your personal perspective. To be, I want to be a little provocative. I mean, you can find any interesting course at any university or on YouTube or any other channel you might want to seek it. But having training in a context that on top of the training, when you learn corporate finance or sustainability or artificial intelligence and cognitive technology, within the context of developing yourself as a leader, you will not find anywhere. As well as you will not find this environment which is offering you the potential of testing where you can go, and that's, if you're interested in surprising yourself in how much you can learn about yourself, that's definitely what you should consider to do. And that's an advice. I mean, I didn't know that. Nobody could tell me that before I started, but this is definitely this. So take with you and take with you this ability to accept your and expand your curiosity to learn. This is an essential step in going into this program.
Thank you. Anybody got anything to add to that?
I would say this is an investment. Clearly, it's an investment in yourself, but it's an investment in time, it's an investment in money, it's an investment. So I would consider, is it the right timing? And what do I want to get out of it? And I think what Francesco said is very clear. What we've been saying is very clear. So is it something that will fit? Will you be able to get the most out of it? And how do you consider it as an investment for yourself? Is it the right timing? So I think that would be the piece of advice. Really think it through, look at it, and look at, does it fit your personal values and your personal goals?
I completely agree with Gail and Francesco. I would just add that a big bunch of curiosity and openness is required. And so maybe from the questions, right? I know we all start with like seeing the impact on our careers, but I think it has to fit also with a global willingness, let's say, to work on oneself, to invest, as Gail said, on oneself, and I think the investment is you get the best return on ROI if you invest in yourself anyway, and that's the risk is very low or none, but the consideration, I would say, is about taking the leap and being you are not ready because you don't know what the journey will be, but being open for what comes, and for that having a bit of space in your life is important, I would say.
Thank you so much, all of you, for your insights. It's been amazing hearing what everything you said. It's been really powerful hearing that. So we have 5 more minutes, and we do have 2 more questions in the chat that I would like to cover before the end. So one of the questions is if you have any tips in securing sponsorship from HR, or I suppose your company, your employer, for the MBAX program. Anybody have any insights on that?
I mean, I would say that's pretty difficult to answer. There's no rule. Some companies have policies which are favorable. Some other companies, I mean, I got no sponsorship at all. Sometimes it's a matter of choices as well. I mean, I had a big financial hit to take personally, but I have a big freedom on the other end. So, of course, it is true that the financial aspect is important, but on one hand, you don't pay all in one shot. Second, it is really secondary. The offer here is really truly on two major institutions, top worldwide institutions that are really offering this, let's say, literally the best you have. I advise you not to put too much on the wedges, the cost for money, because in the end, don't forget that it's all about you. This journey is going to be as good as you pay as soon as you're putting as much effort as you should in this. That's the return on investment that you can really calculate. The economy of the course is absolutely in line. I'm sure you have done your researches, but if you want to profit on where we have the best offering in terms of knowledge, this is absolutely what you can get here from ETH and UNI-SG, and this would be sad to get it not let's say at that level. This is what everyone is expecting when you are entering and enrolling such a thing. But this is you will quickly forget how much you paid. It's not important. There's more what you get that is sticking with you.
Amazing. Thank you, Francesco. There's another question on if there was a topic that you would have liked to be treated a bit more deeply throughout the program. The answer is no.
No, I mean it's an 18-month program, which is part-time, so it's very difficult to cover as much ground as we covered, and we all have personal preferences. So I would just say probably all of the people would have liked to dig deeper in one topic or another. Personally, I would have loved to have a bit more emphasis on the sustainability aspects and understand how to really implement change in that aspect in the company. That is something that I would have loved to. I do understand, however, that it would have meant other things not getting treated as deeply as they were, and all of the other things I loved doing. So it's very difficult to say there is something that should have been treated more deeply. If you tailor the course only to be the whole cohort, then I would have said a couple things. But at the same time, it would also mean that I could have missed on things that I was not interested in specifically, but actually brought me a lot of insights and different things. So personal preference will come into play. You will like some classes more than others. It might not be the one you expected. You might learn more from some than other depending on your background, but overall, I think it's a very balanced course that touches on a lot of different aspects. And given the time frame and the fact that it's, you know, a part-time 18-month course, it's difficult to really have think of something that's completely missing. I always like to learn and dig deeper and so on and so forth, but the course is very well balanced, I would say.
Wonderful.
Maybe I can add from my experience that if during a module you're missing a part, or you would like to take a deeper look. So I addressed that at one point, and the professor took it, and we had an extra, let's say, additional session on that. But as Gaia said, it's already very intense. You want to have all these different topics and looking into. So if you dive deeper in something, then it might take time from something else. But in general, it's I mean, we were 2024. Think what all that happened in AI, from Gen AI to agentic AI, and I think the both institutions did a great job to catch up on AI and technology innovation and so on. It was really, they really do a good job and listen to different feedback that might be missing here or there. For instance, sustainability was a big topic for us. So also from one cohort to the other, there is this feedback which comes in, and constant improvement. Yeah.
And you still build a network, as Gail also said before. So I still have questions, and I know now to whom I can address them. You get answers. So it's not all about the 18 months. So this is also important to remind.
Perfect. All right, we are at the end of the session. Thank you so much, Gail, Fanny, and Francesco, for all of your insights, for your for this open and honest conversation. It's been wonderful to hear everything you've said, and to everybody who participated today. So I will be reaching out to you with the recording, and if you have additional questions, I would be very happy to answer them and speak to you. And then otherwise, I wish everybody a wonderful rest of the afternoon. And to our alumni, thank you so much again for your time and all of your efforts.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you. All the best. Bye.
Thank you. Best of luck. Bye.